Hi, everybody. Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School Director Mark Caraway here, and I am here to talk to you about strategies for successful online learning. This is something that we in Blue Ridge know a lot about because we have been doing online learning for almost 20 years. And we've seen a lot of things that work for students and a lot of things that don't work so much for students. So what you're going to hear about is going to be a lot of information that comes from our experience, but also some information that comes from research as well about what makes the best online learning strategies to be successful in that environment. So the first thing that you really want to think about is having clear goals. And clear goals, by that I mean like thinking a little bit more of the long term. What is it that you're really hoping to accomplish in 5 years or 10 years? Because everything that you as a student do right now has a potential influence on whether or not you'll be able to accomplish those goals. And if you're not sure, if you haven't really thought that out, it's a good time to do so. You're in high school, again, everything that you do will influence. Will you want to go to college? Will you have? Do you have a specific career in mind, or a different, a specific type of career in mind that you want to pursue? Everything that you do may help to influence whether you'll be able to achieve that or not. So you want to take that and then think about this in terms of the course itself, and think in terms of the big picture of how can this course help me to be as prepared as possible for what I want my future to look like. So if you've thought through those things, that really helps to put a lot of what you do in here and the day-to-day activities that you do in a context of a bigger picture that hopefully will help you stay on task as much as possible. So a couple of things that are really important, and the first is that before you start, you really want to set the environment for successful online learning. And by that I mean you want to know where and when and how you're going to be doing your schoolwork in an online environment. So the first thing that's really important is to be consistent with a place and a time. You almost think of it like a class in school. You take your history class in school from this time to that time in this room with this teacher. You're going to be doing something very much like that. If you want to be successful, that kind of structure really helps you be much more successful. That place obviously should be free of interruptions and not a lot of other people around, people talking to you, stuff like that. That's just not going to work well if you've got those kind of distractions. The biggest distractions that people tend to leave on while they're working are television and phones. And both are distracting, but I'll tell you, phones actually, if you look at the research, a phone being on and in the room and close to you will actually seriously impair your ability to do cognitive tasks. It just takes too much of your attention. And your brain, contrary to popular belief, there's no such thing as multitasking. Your brain cannot focus on two things at once. So even turned off and on your desk, a phone will distract you enough that it will impair your cognitive processes, which means you can't learn as well. So knowing that your phone is going to be in another place, best case scenarios in another room while you're working is critical. And the way you can do that and manage that is to break your learning up into smaller chunks of time, 20 to 30 minutes, and then take a break. So setting yourself up for, I'm going to work for 2 hours, and within that 2 hours, I'm going to work for 20 minutes and take a 10-minute break. Work for 20 minutes, take a 10-minute break. You'll find you get yourself a lot more work done in that context.